In my opinion, among all the Indian authors, the queen of rom-coms right now.
I feel so happy when somebody says that they enjoyed my second book more than my first, because I wrote my first book in 2020. It would make me feel like I've failed as an author, as a writer, right? So it's the best feedback that I can get. I think dating in India is like a weird cocktail right now, where you're also
exactly where I asked it.
like you're on dating apps, you're asking your friends to set you up, you're going to like events to see if you like somebody's vibe. You have to be open to everything because you don't know where love can find you. To not be close-minded in that, okay, I am only gonna meet my husband or my boyfriend or the love of my life in a bookstore, like that. That's very niche, It may not happen. It may happen for you, but like love finds you in unexpected ways.
Everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Next Show by Nagma. And today with me, I have, in my opinion, among all the Indian authors, the queen of rom-coms right now. I mean, she's making expressions.
I'm blushing.
Even you can. So I have always been a rom-com fan. All your Lynn Painter, your Ellie Hazelwood, Emily Henry, name it, I would have read it. I was always so irritated because I couldn't find good rom-coms by Indian authors. A lot of other types of books, thrillers, anything. Yes, there were great books, literary fiction, amazing books, but rom-coms never really lived up to the mark. So once I discovered Red Flags and Rishtas, there was no going back. So now when finally her second book is out, we couldn't wait and we really had to grab her and then make sure that we record this podcast while she is in India. So welcome to the next show, Radhika. How are you?
I'm great, and thank you so much for that warm introduction. My God, I'm still blushing.
That is good. Please make sure that the blushing actually comes on camera. So how has it been? Because your new book is out, and I think 2 days ago I saw that reel of your first launch and the new launch, how the contrast between both of it. So how has this experience been?
Oh my God, it's been overwhelming in the best possible way. It's been quite the journey because I did all of these things for my first book as well. And now doing it the second time around and being able to see the growth, being able to see and feel the love for me, for my books, for my writing, it's really surreal.
That's really
and
nice.
Sometimes I'm like, somebody pinch me.
Oh, that's really good.
I feel really blessed.
That's so
and
nice.
Very loved.
That's so nice. Do you have a lot of readers who read your first book, was eagerly waiting to meet you to talk about the second book? Do you have like readers who've been there throughout your book journey?
Yeah, I mean, Not Safe for Work has only come out about a month ago. So far, most of I would say 90% of the readers that I've interacted with, both online and offline, have been readers that discovered Red Flags and Rishtas first and were waiting for the next book or, found out that the new book is out and were able to get their hands on it. So that, they've kind of followed me on this journey. They've been with me on this journey. And I'm hoping that Not Safe for Work will also branch out and eventually find and tap into new readers as well. But right now, the majority of the readers that are picking up my second book are people that came, from my first book. So it means a lot that, my writing made them want to pick up more books by me.
No, that's interesting. And what's the most heartfelt feedback that you got from your readers comparing both the books?
A lot of readers tell me, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I really enjoyed Not Safe for Work more than Red Flags and Rishtas. And I always tell them, you don't need to apologize. You are making my day. I feel so happy when somebody says that they enjoyed my second book more than my first, because I wrote my first book in 2020 and I wrote Not Safe for Work in 2025. So there's a 5-year difference between the writing of both the books. And to think that I wouldn't have grown between those 5 years, it would make me feel like I've failed as an author, as a writer. right? So it's
That makes
the
sense.
best feedback that I can get. And I hope
Yeah.
that with every book, my writing keeps getting better. The way I'm able to connect with readers keeps getting better, and that's all I can hope for.
So is there a difference, like for you while you were writing the book, Red Flags and Rishtas was your debut. You did not have a background of the publishing industry. You had no clue. You're just a writer who wanted to write a book, and you've done that.
Yeah.
But now when it came to Not Safe for Work, you already got the taste. You've experienced. You've known how the publishing industry works. You've done book tours. You've met a lot of readers. A lot of those things has been there. And 5 years, that's a big gap. But then again, Red Flags and Rishtas in the last 2 years, there's been really good amount of marketing going on around that. So as a writer, having this experience, did it help you? Or what was the difference?
I mean, it helped me 100%, like both, I mean, in all phases of the writing and publishing journey, in writing, because when I wrote Red Flags and Rishtas, I wrote it kind of like an experiment. I just, I wrote it in 2020 and I wanted to see if I could write romance, because before this I was trying to write something more serious. So when I...
No, don't do.
So when I started writing Red Flags, it was more born out of an experiment and out of this longing of writing something new and seeing if that would work for me. And I wasn't thinking too much about the craft. Of course, I had like certain knowledge that I wanted to include in the book, but I wasn't like thinking from a place of, okay, I need to tie up all the loose ends. I need to make sure all the arcs are, realized to their fullest potential. It came in the, later drafts of the book. But when I first wrote it, it was more like
storytelling.
I want to see if my friends like it. It was born out of that feeling of, okay, let's just do it and see where it goes. With the second one, of course, there had been readers who had followed me on this journey. I had a publisher, I had an agent, I had like expectations that I wanted to live up to. So the process was slightly different. I outlined heavily while I was writing Not Safe for Work, which I think helped me in my craft, because I'm the kind of writer that feels very anxious when I'm trying to write something new. So having, notes for every chapter, a set direction for every subplot, character notes that are like pages and pages long, just notes for every little bit of the story, while still creating that room that if I want to, take a different direction, I should be allowed to follow my gut instinct. So taking that approach this time around helped me have that mental clarity, and it helped me with my writer's anxiety, because when I would sit down to write a chapter, I knew what I had to tackle in that chapter.
Makes sense.
And that kind of felt like, okay, this is achievable. Otherwise it kind of used to feel like, oh my God, it was just really overwhelming. And sometimes it would feel like you have to climb a mountain, but you can't see the peak. But when you know what you're going to write, then you can see it. You know exactly how to get there. And that helps.
Interesting.
So that was in the writing phase. And then, of course, the publishing phase, like when 1 month after Red Flags and Rishtas had come out, I was like really, really sad and anxious and just like worried that nothing will come of this career. Whatever 100, 500 copies I must have sold at that point. And I was like, this is never going to be anything. But now that I've been through that journey, now I know, okay, it takes time for a book to travel and for a book to become known. So I'm not as worried. I'm like, theek hai, like whatever reviews I'm getting are good reviews. And those people are going to recommend it to their friends and family and so on and so forth. And it's like this snowball effect that will take some time, right? And everything doesn't happen overnight. Red Flags and Rishtas didn't happen overnight. And neither will Not Safe for Work. And I find solace in that experience and in that knowledge that good things will come. I just have to be consistent and I have to work hard. That's all I can control.
Very true. And good luck to that journey of being a writer. No, that is true when you said also. I think I would have recommended Red Flags to a number of readers. Like even at the bookstores where people are willing to give a chance to an Indian author,
Yeah.
I think Red Flags and Rishtas have always been there at the top of it. So yes, I'm sure readers who like it, they'll keep continuing to recommend it. So
Yeah.
now you were talking about how you, for this time, and I'm sure you would have done some bits for Red Flags also, you've plotted the characters, you've had pages and pages of character notes and everything. So the way that you see a character and build them, right? Are there differences when readers talk to you about that character?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything in literature is so subjective,
Yeah.
right? Everything in art is so subjective. So I might write a character as a side character, and somebody might relate to them so much that they want a story on that character. That happened so many times with Red Flags and Rishtas.
Yeah.
Like there were lots of characters that really appealed
Yeah.
to people. You know, Vrinda, who's Ananya's
Yeah.
best friend, was one of them.
Oh, she was so cool.
Yeah, she was really cool. And she has like a fan club of her
Yeah,
own,
yeah.
right? Same with Adar's brother, Karan. And people are shipping them. So, you know, those and even though in Red Flags and Rishtas, they never even met.
Yeah.
They don't actually interact
Yeah.
with each other at all. But those two characters really spoke to people. There were some other, you know, nice guy characters that people really liked that Ananya just went on a single date with.
Yeah.
So things like that. And, you know, characters surprise you as an author as well.
Yeah.
Same with Not Safe for Work. Today I met somebody at the bookstore at Shelfie where somebody was like, I really like Tanya's character, and she was really layered and complex, and I appreciated that because, you know, when I wrote her, I wasn't sure if she will appeal to a lot of people, if people will give her that grace or not.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to hear somebody relating to her character and knowing that I didn't write her in that way. I wrote her just as a multi-dimensional character, but for somebody to be able to relate to her, to be able to understand her, that makes me feel really good.
That's so cool. Now, coming to rom-coms in general, and even like given that you're already here today, I just do not want to talk about your new book, but of course, taking a little bit from Red Flags also. In today's age, how do you generally see dating to be? Because Red Flags as a concept where the girl is literally on a date every single day.
Yeah.
And it gets a little debatable to even think about it, whether in India that happens always or not. There are people, yes, there are people, no. But dating in general, how do you perceive dating? Or what do you think actually is happening everywhere today?
So well, before I got married and met my husband, I met my husband on a dating app.
Oh,
so I relate with Ananya quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, in the book, she goes on 2 dates a week, which is like her Saturday, Sunday sort of routine.
Weekend routine.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was as active as Ananya, but I've been on a fair share of dates in my time, and you know, that's eventually what led me to my husband.
Yeah.
So I think dating in India is like a weird cocktail right now, where you're also
exactly where I asked the question.
like you're on dating apps,
Yeah.
you're asking your friends to set you up,
Yeah.
you're going to like events to see if
Yeah.
you know, like somebody's vibe. You're also open to your parents setting you up with somebody, or you know, sending you rishta, and at least a lot of people are open to it, because the idea of arranged marriage is also evolving in a lot of families
True.
and in a lot of cultures. So it's this weird cocktail of like all these little approaches. And I believe that like you have to be open to everything, because you don't know where love can find you, right? So to not be close-minded in that, okay, I am only going to meet my husband or my boyfriend or the love of my life in a bookstore, like that's very niche, you know. It may not happen, it may happen for you, but like love finds you in unexpected places, and you have to be open to it if it, you know, comes your way at a grocery aisle, or like, you know, at a friend's birthday party, or whatever it is, or at a workplace, like Not Safe for Work. So
interesting.
Yeah.
And how do you think in general dating has evolved? Because we come from a society where dating, even today, in a lot of households, even in Tier 1 cities, dating is not something that's encouraged. So how do you think dating or love in general or courtship in general has kind of evolved?
I find it very funny because for most middle class Indian families, what happens is between the age of like 15 to 25, your parents don't want you to date.
Yeah.
They're like,
Obviously.
no boyfriends, stay away from
Yes.
men are like mad, whatever. And then as soon as you turn 25, your mom will come to you one day and she'll be like, so are you dating somebody? Because then they want you to date to get married.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite work like that. You can't have a culture where people are repressed and then suddenly be like, okay, now time to get married. You go find somebody for yourself. That's not how it works, right? But having said that, like, it's not that when our parents told us not to date, we didn't date. We dated. we just dated in secret.
Yeah.
Right? And now I feel like that's changing. There's more conversation about dating. There's more acceptance in a lot of families, in a lot of cities, in a lot of cultures. And that I think is really good for our culture because finally we're letting go of that repression. There's no shame or guilt attached to dating. There is, but like not as much. And that's really important because there's nothing wrong with having a crush or dating somebody in your teens or in your early 20s or your late 20s or even in your 40s, 50s, whatever it is. Because love is a universal emotion, right? And it's very natural biologically for us to develop feelings for the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you're into. So it's really cool that, Indian parents are more open to their kids dating and the society is becoming a little bit more acceptable and we're learning to laugh at things like, a 10th standard kid having a crush or a girlfriend or a boyfriend. It's really sweet. So I really hope that the culture changes and evolves in a way that we don't have to hide things from our families. We can just, if we're in school or in college, we can come home and talk to our parents about who we're crushing on, who we want to ask out, who's dating who, whatever it is.
So especially in today's era where people are finding people online. Like you said, when parents are really acceptable about it and you can have these conversations at home, then the kids tell about it. Even if they're going to meet a stranger at a cafe, they tell at home that they're going to meet a stranger at a cafe and parents are aware of it. But a lot of places that doesn't happen, which leads to a lot of trouble, a lot of incidents that keeps happening because people do not have that space to openly communicate at their home. They had to hide scenarios, and let's be honest, everybody do not have right intentions. So anything like while you're working on the book or anything in general, have you ever taken any steps to kind of sensitize people on, or parents for that matter, on the importance of being open so that it can also actually make somebody feel safer?
I mean, through my books, I really just try to write my characters in a way and the relationships between my protagonists and their parents in a way that readers who are reading it feel like, okay, we can have this closeness with our family. We can turn to them when something goes wrong in our love life or we want advice or whatever it is. But I obviously don't come out and like break that fourth wall and preach. That's something that you have to tackle in a different way in fiction. But it's through conversations like these that we're able to spread awareness, we're able to make people understand this approach as well to dating and to having those close relationships with your family and how that can benefit your bond with your family in the long run.
Interesting. Okay, keeping away red flags and rishtas. Go away. So coming to the new book.
Yes.
It's a huge shift in terms of the story. So where do you pick up your story inspirations from? I think red flags, like you said, it could be from your personal experiences, but anything for Not Safe for Work?
So I think every writer puts a little bit of themselves or something that they have experienced in every book that they write. With Red Flags, when I was writing it, I was 25, and I just gotten to the point where people around me were on dating apps, somebody was on arranged marriage websites, and there were people that were on both. So I wanted to explore that dynamic. And when I wrote Not Safe for Work, I was actually in a corporate job. I had joined this job in brand comms, and I was experiencing that corporate world for the first time, really, because before that I was working for magazines which were not as corporate. They were more chilled out, not as many policies and whatnot. So just being in that setup and observing this whole world around me, seeing how it works, the lingo, the policies, the power dynamics, all of that. I really wanted to take all of those observations and put them in a book. And that's how I kind of decided that I wanted to write a workplace romance. So the setting is what spoke to me, and I was like, okay, let's do a workplace romance. I decided I wanted to set it in Mumbai because I'd spent the early years of my career in Mumbai, and I thought it would be a perfect backdrop for a workplace,
filmy backdrop that somebody needs.
Especially like a workplace romance where you're trying to show class privilege, you're trying to have slightly deeper themes that go deeper than just like people are having an affair at the workplace. So that's what I wanted to do, and I thought like Mumbai would be a great backdrop for that. And then Kavya and Neil just unfolded naturally from the setting because they're two different versions of Mumbai. So I just went from there, and they all came together in this one beautiful universe that we call Not Safe for Work.
Interesting. Because we were talking also when I was telling about how I liked the second book better in terms of the craft. Few of the reasons were these itself, because the way that you've given importance to each character, how you've developed these characters, and it's not just the workplace romance as a highlight. There were many other themes in the book that were very, very important and like needed conversations around, which was beautifully done. I think for me, that's the reason why the book kind of worked better, because earlier I was also just a reader. So now, like being in the industry, we also tend to judge books.
Sure.
So I think that is definitely
Thank you. I'm glad it lived up to your expectations.
That is true. So when it comes to workplace romance in general, this is a completely off-topic question.
Okay.
A lot of workplaces are against workplace romance.
Yeah.
Like you said, there are policies. You cannot date a colleague, or you cannot date somebody from a different level of your hierarchy or things like that. There are a lot of policies against your workplace romances. What do you think of that?
I think it's changing a little bit. When I was younger, a lot of people had this don't shit where you eat type of attitude to workplace dating. But at least in the creative fields and the more lifestyle oriented fields, things are changing. Of course, there are still a lot of policies that don't allow dating within your department or where there's like a clear power imbalance, because of course you have like, consent come in the picture and whether two people are able to actually freely choose to be in that relationship without, any kind of external pressure. So those things are there, and it is definitely a nuanced topic. You can't have a blanket policy for every case. But I think there should be some openness, because you spend most of your adult life at work. From Monday to Friday, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. If that's all, that's where you're going all day, and you're spending all your time with these people. Of course, you're going to get to know them, and of course, you might develop feelings for somebody there. So there has to be a little bit of room for you to see and to explore if this could be something real, and if you'd want to explore it within that setting as well. So I hope that more workplaces are open to evaluate on a case-by-case basis, if not anything else. But in fiction, especially. I think it's a very juicy
Oh yes,
trope.
definitely. Yeah, because
And the whole
a lot of
forbidden
times-
aspect of it really works, because you're like, okay,
the
this may not,
excitement is
this may not work out in
the-
real life, but in fiction it's really exciting.
Interesting. What are your favorite rom-coms?
My favorite rom-coms, so my favorite rom-com author is Sophie Kinsella. I'm a huge fan. Like, she's literally the queen of romance.
I have no idea how many times I've either
I
read the book
know.
or watched the movie.
I know.
God.
So,
Interesting.
two of my favorites by her are Can You Keep a Secret
Mhm.
and The Undomestic Goddess.
Yeah.
So, I love her. And off late, I've been really enjoying like Ali Hazelwood. I've been enjoying this new author I discovered called Catherine Center.
Okay.
So there's a book by her called The Rom-Commers.
Okay.
Um,
That one. I didn't know the
it's a
author, but I remember the
really fun-
title.
Yeah. I love rom-coms about rom-coms.
Yeah.
The genre
Yeah.
rom-com.
Yeah.
So that was like a god tier book. I loved that book.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm always discovering, always reading. I was telling you earlier, I haven't been reading romance for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to pick up all the new picks that have, landed in the
Yeah.
market. The next 1 month or 1.5 months, I'm going to be reading romance exclusively, catching up on my
Best
TBR.
time. Oh, that's so nice. So
Yeah.
have you ever imagined any of your books turning into a movie?
All day, every day. That's all I'm thinking about.
So if that happens, touch wood, please show me some wood. Then yeah, what are you visioning?
Just, I keep envisioning myself on the red carpet for the screening. Like,
Oh God!
that Om Shanti Om
Yeah,
scene
yeah.
after the movie has ended, where the whole cast comes on this
Yeah.
red carpet. That's what I'm picturing. I'm like, one little limousine door will open. I will step out in this gorgeous dress and wave like Shanti Priya.
Oh, God.
Silly little daydreams I
Yeah.
have. But I don't know, it'll just be such a dream come true.
Yeah.
It'll feel like this is an actual like tangible career.
Yeah.
So outside of the daydreams, I just want this to become something that I can leave a legacy behind with.
Which do you think will work better as a movie?
I think both have a lot of like Bollywood flavor and tadka in them.
Yeah.
Different types of movies they would end up becoming.
That's true.
But I think I'm not going to choose. I think please, guys, producers, if you're listening,
Yeah.
Red Flags and Rishtas and Not Safe for Work will make fantastic movies or TV series, whatever you prefer.
The fun.
DM me.
Yeah, the TRP will be very high because these are all bingeable. People will actually end up watching. Oh, that's actually nice. So, coming to the publishing world, how did you publish your first book? What was your journey like?
The long and winding road, very, very frustrating.
Yeah. Because why I'm asking that is also because, see, even I work with a lot of debut authors at Authors Nest. That's the bigger category of people that we work with.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult for a debut author to, writers to become authors.
Sure.
So, and even if they finally have a book out there, it's very difficult to get some bit of success out of those books. And this could be self-publishing, this could be traditional, this could be a hybrid in any way.
True.
What worked for you?
In terms of finding a publisher, like, of course, I went through a lit agent. So, but even finding a literary agent, it took me 3.5 years, almost 4 years to find an agent. And it was a really tough journey. Like, I almost gave up multiple times. Like after a certain number of rejections, you really kind of begin to take it to heart. Like you start to question, am I not cut out for this? Am I a bad writer? Is this not the right time for me to be writing this genre? All kinds of questions you end up contemplating. And there's so much negativity that the world is giving you through these rejections, but also what you're giving yourself because of how those rejections make you feel. But I kind of just I have this really nice support system, like my family in particular, because my parents knew that I wanted to be an author since I knew I wanted to be an author, right? So they've dreamt this dream with me throughout this journey.
Nice.
And they never let me give up, They would keep asking me, okay, what's happening with the book? And even on days when I would just want to forget about it and not think about it, they would give me that push that, okay, like, try speaking to this person, try this approach, all of that. But, I have this really amazing support system. And my parents in particular, they've kind of dreamt this dream with me. They knew that I wanted to be an author as soon as I knew I wanted to be an author. And they've always been very, very supportive. So even on days that I wanted to give up or not talk about it or not think about it, they would give me that little push, just go talk to that person, just go try this approach. So I kind of always had this in the back of my head that I can't give up for them. I can,
so sweet.
I can give up for me, but like I can't give up for them. They see me as this person that can, that was meant for this, that was born for this. I can't let them down. So a lot of that journey, I pushed myself because I wanted my parents to feel proud. I wanted my parents to see this dream becoming a reality.
So nice.
Even more than I wanted it to become a reality for myself. So I kept going, did all kinds of kartab to get my foot in the door. And then my breakthrough was this one point where somebody had optioned my book for screen. So so I mean, nothing came of that conversation, but at that point they had optioned my book for screen because they thought it would make for a good movie. Right? And I thought, okay, let me, now that I have had this development, let me write a fresh set of query letters and highlight this everywhere and see what happens. So I used that as a USP to sort of, get more eyeballs on what I had written, and that worked. So that appealed to a lot of agents. I signed with my agent, then as soon as I'd signed with him, like, getting a publisher was not an issue from that point on. Like, he was.
Did you know about an agent? Because a lot of people today, like even writers, they don't even know that there's a middleman called as an agent. And I think people miss out a lot because of that. Did you already know? How did you know? And how did you find your agent?
So I knew from a long time ago also, because, this had always been my dream. So I was constantly on the internet trying to figure out like how to get published. I was, even when I wasn't writing or, was toying with different ideas for books, I would keep having conversations with people that I would meet from the publishing industry. So I was like just chronically online trying to figure out how to hack it. Right? So there's plenty of information available online. It's just a matter of whether you're willing to research and to put in that work. So I knew there's an like the best way to approach this industry as a debut author is to go through an agent. I knew that it's going to be a long process. I didn't know it's going to be this frustrating, but I knew it would be not like a cakewalk. So I was like, let me just give it a go and see what happens.
Okay, so if you don't mind, just so that it might become a good informative thing for the listeners who might want to become authors tomorrow, can you give some suggestions on maybe like 3-4 agents' names or agencies which maybe people can refer to later? Because publishing houses' names everybody knows. They know where to get it, they know the Instagram, they know the websites, all of that is there. But agents in general, if you can give some suggestions for 4-5 names.
I mean, so I've only worked with 2 agents. I worked with Kanishk for my first book, Red Flags and Rishtas, from the writer's side. A great agent. He got me, more than one deal within 1 month of signing with him. Fantastic agent, really, knows what he's doing.
Of course, he has Booker Prize, so...
For the second book, Not Safe for Work, now my agent is Saksham Garg. He is a fantastic new age agent, really on the ball about not just getting you a deal, but also about like how to market your book. So it's been a pleasure working with him. apart from that, like, I mean, haven't worked with a different agent, but there's so many wonderful agents out there. There's Meeta Kapoor from Siyahi, there's Red Ink. There's so many other agencies. I don't want to like name one or two and then forget the others, but all of the lit agents in India are doing a fantastic job. So if you sign with any of them, you're in good hands.
That's nice. So once you had an agent, okay, these are going to be technical, just so that I'm also considering it so that it could be informative for people. So once you signed up with an agent, and the agent is the one finding you a publisher. So are you doing editorial work in between? Or is it later, once a publisher pick up, that the publisher does the editorial work?
No. So, I mean, like, internally, individually, you should be working on improving your drafts all the time, but when you sign with an agent, usually your agent will also give you some editorial feedback. So there will be a round of edits most likely when you sign with an agent, if they feel like, certain developmental edits need to be made, or if the book needs to be professionally edited before you need to approach the publisher, they will point that out to you as well. So that depends on like a case-to-case basis, but usually your agent will have some feedback on how to better the book before you go to a publisher. And once you go to the publisher, of course, there's going to be multiple rounds of editing, developmental edits, copy edits, line-by-line edits, proofreading. So it's a whole process. But expect to have edits even from your agent.
So which was easy, publishing or post-publishing?
Post-publishing, I mean... I don't know, actually. Post-publishing is also hard now because of all the content.
Content, marketing, travel.
I mean, the travel part I don't want to ever complain about because it's such a privilege to be able to go on a book tour, to be able to meet readers, to be able to, have talks and interviews. It is a privilege, and I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful that I'm in this position where I'm able to do this. But in terms of like marketing, of course, it gets a little bit hectic.
How has that been?
Hectic, busy, a little bit mind-numbing, but it's okay. It's a part of the job, and some days you wake up ready to win the day, and some days you're just like, oh, please leave me alone.
So how has the importance of, like, say, online, obviously, people who, if anybody watching this podcast, obviously they've seen your Instagram channel also. So online is definitely there. We all know that, the importance of having a good Instagram consistency for your book to really reach people. How important has offline been?
Really important. I feel like I have been able to make connections with readers only through offline, not only, but like mainly. A large part of it has been through offline events and talks and panels and just book signings as well. Because, online, I do try to respond to most of my DMs, whenever possible, but like, you're talking behind a screen, right? True. So you're not able to fully connect with somebody. But when you meet an author at their book signing or at an event, you listen to them talk, there's a different kind of connect that you feel. And for me as well, I'm able to like, see a reader's face, know their name, not their Instagram handle, talk to them about their life, talk to them about my thoughts, my writing process. And that is a connect that you can't always feel online. So it's been really good because I think like organic marketing works like from a strategic point of view as well. When you develop that connection with somebody, they want to recommend you more because they're like, oh, okay, I enjoyed meeting this person. I enjoyed her book. Let me ask my friends to read it as well. Or if you're going for an event by an author, maybe you want to drag a friend along that's not even a reader. But after perhaps being in that environment, being surrounded by so many readers, they might want to pick up the book or a book. And it's just a really good feeling to be able to contribute that and to be able to connect with readers not behind a screen.
No, that's actually very true, because what you said, like, because we do a lot of events, there's so many times when I'm meeting somebody new, with somebody that I already know,
Yeah.
and they're like, no, I just dragged my friend along.
Yeah.
And most of the scenarios, that friend might be the one who might, at the end of the day, when you're doing the author, if it's a book launch, like signatures and everything,
Yeah.
that friend might be the one more interested in getting that book and, oh,
Exactly.
my first signed copy. It becomes very exciting.
It's such a
for
novel
them.
experience for them,
Exactly.
right?
Interesting. Any disappointments with the publishing industry? I know it's a bad question to ask, but without names. Is that what you, because you've been a writer, like not books, but then you've been in the world of books and magazines and articles and journalism and all of that. So words, books, long form, short form, whatever, this has always been your world. And I'm sure that you would have visualized something that this is, my publishing journey will be like that. Like once you got your deal or whenever, you would have created a world, right? Has it lived up to your expectations, or has there been disappointments?
I mean, I wouldn't call it a disappointment.
Yeah.
I would say there's been plenty of challenges.
Yeah.
And I try to take it as, I'm a glass half full kind of person. So I try to take it as a challenge, right? When there's an obstacle, I'm like, I can do something to you know, overcome this hurdle. So I think one of the biggest was being a debut author and feeling like I needed to prove myself. And I'm glad that that challenge was there because it made me stronger and it made me reach a reader base that I may not have been able to otherwise if like everything was just handed to me. I might have taken it for granted, right? But like putting in the work, making 5 reels a day, going on a book tour that was completely self-funded, you know, doing all these interviews that nobody really wanted to do with me in the beginning. It made me appreciate what I have been getting the second time around a lot more, right? And it made me reach readers in different parts of the country that I may not otherwise have.
That's true.
So I'm really grateful for the challenge that I was given, where I had to kind of be like, okay, I'm a debut author. Nobody knows me. I have 2,000 followers on Instagram. That's mostly friends and family. But it's fine, you know. Like, I can do this and I'm going to do this. And that's, I'm grateful that that hurdle was there. It made me stronger as a person.
That's amazing. Yeah, it used to be 2000, not anymore. And like I said, there are a lot of debut authors today who take your name as reference because the consistency, even though they know it's a trouble to do that, but a lot of people genuinely appreciate that amount of work that's going in. And thanks to people like you or a Shrishti or people like that, it gives the hope, I would say, for a lot of debut authors who believe that, oh, how do I market? I do not have a huge marketing budget.
Sure.
So a lot of things are within your own hands. You can create that marketing funnel by yourself. So you can create the content. You don't need fancy,
and Instagram
fancy
is
stuff
free,
for that.
Right? Everybody has a phone these days, a smartphone.
Instagram is free, edits is free, your editing is sorted, Instagram is sorted, captions
you just
can
need a
come
ring
out
light.
of it.
Sometimes not even that.
A good sunlight, I think.
And you need a good marketing brain.
I think that is
discipline.
Follow the right people. You should be, or come to people like us, will help you. So that really goes on. So if you're coming up with your third book, I'm sure you will. Something is on the way?
I have to start writing it.
Okay. So good luck with
that.
But
yeah, I mean, I want to be the kind of author that writes, that has a book out every year.
Nice.
So I have to get cracking if I want a book out next year.
Yeah,
by
buckle
the end
up.
Of next year, I don't have a lot of time.
True. So anything that you would do different?
I want to write consistently rather than writing only when there's a deadline.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already behind on this, hope because I already don't have a lot of time left. But I have this, I'm very like externally motivated. So when there's not like a deadline looming large, I'm like, la 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 la, my own sweet world. I'll watch Netflix for 3 days straight. I'll write 500 words and then take a nap, you know. So I take it, I'm a very lenient boss. So what I want to do this time around is not do that and write let's say 1500, 2000 words every single day.
Yeah.
And if I do that, then I'll have like, a book in 2 months or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope to be able to do that this
Good
time
luck on
around.
that. It's like
I know,
deja vu, whatever you were telling. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because the way I write is very dysfunctional.
Mm.
At least the way I've written the first 2 books has been very dysfunctional. The first time around, I was still, back home here in Delhi, where my parents could like force feed me and I didn't have to take care of anything or anybody.
Yeah.
Now I'm living in Thailand and I have a dog. I have a husband. I mean, I don't have to take care of my husband, but like I have to buy my own groceries, like, no, but my mummy is not coming with aloo parathas to feed me at 2 p.m.
Oh, God,
I have to make all of that happen. So it's very dysfunctional to be, writing like a zombie for 1.5, 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to pace that out, be in a good space mentally, and to also have fun in that time period.
Yeah. Okay, we'll continue our conversation off camera, because otherwise I'm sure my team cannot tell anything to you. They'll question me later. But yes, a last and final question. Is there something that because I wouldn't say lucky, but you are the very few debut authors who made a bestseller out of their books. Something worked. There are a lot of things that you learned.
Yeah.
Any tip, any suggestion, anything that you actually want to pass on as a message to the writers who want to make it work?
Don't have a plan B. I think, I can say that I worked on marketing and I did this and that, and I did, I did do all of that. But the mindset was that all or nothing, I'm all in and I'm going to make this work, whatever it takes. If I had to like bet my life savings on it, I would have. Yeah. So don't have a plan B. If you're going into this industry, give it your heart and soul, do whatever it takes, and it will work out.
Oh my God. I literally took that advice personally. No, literally, because I've left all my job and we're sitting on this. Yeah,
it's going to be great. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for finally making, that's a taunt as well, finally making the time to be here. So just so that the viewers know, this conversation that we want to record, a podcast, started when Red Flags and Rich Stars came. And I think I read that book some 2-3 months later after the book was out. The conversation is from then. Yeah, which we finally cracked. But I'm glad, because there are a lot of conversations around Red Flags and Rich Stars. Back-to-back events, podcast, talk shows, everything was going on. Nobody has done this yet.
Yes,
so yeah, that's good. So this was worth the wait. But thank you so much for making the time. Being the fun you that you are on camera as well. But thank you so much. We'll continue our conversation. And to all the viewers, officially we are stopping it here, and I'll see you back with another episode.
The next show by Nazma.